Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zadnvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. 4 lefts and 10 rights make up the 14 corners of the narrow and demanding Zadnvoort circuit, with plenty of peaks and valleys over the course of the 2.6-mile lap, which will demand absolute concentration from our drivers here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Kamui Kobayashi lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have the captain, Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Gasly, Perez, Hamilton, Helga, Sargent, Joe, Stroll, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Zadnvoort's a very complicated track with all the bank curves and changes in elevation, but we are starting off in third, less than a half a second off pole. Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. We drive full-length races in full simulation the way F124 is meant to be played. From the driver's cockpit with a Fanatec force feedback wheel and pedal set. If you enjoy the racing here at Driving Immersion, consider giving us a like and subscribe and let us know how you enjoy the race. It gets our channel out to other race fans like you. In addition, you'll be notified when the next race is available. Our content is on Facebook in HD and on YouTube in Ultra HD. Welcome to Zadnvoort in the Netherlands. Last time we were here, it was a very wet and rainy and complicated race. Thankfully, the sun is out today, so let's see how we're going to do. Here is our setup for the race. We are going to change this around, start off with a set of the red tires along with everyone else, and then finish off with a couple of mediums to complete the race. Now we just have to tweak how many laps we get in between the stints or pit stops. So 17 seems like a good number right now for the soft tires, and 28 and 27 for the medium tires. Here is our setup, and you can pause the video if you want. It is based off of a medium preset with added wings just to be able to get around the track and improve our time. We have a lot of air in the tires to have them be more durable, but we also want the car to be sharp. And we're just going to even out the pressures between left and right, as it didn't really improve our time at all. One thing to note on our strategy is that we have 80.1 laps of fuel for this race, and it's only a 72 lap race. Keep that in mind for the finish of the race. So now we set off for our formation lap as we cross the start finish line. That is the pit lane to the right of the screen. Again, we are behind our teammate Kamui and Charles Leclerc and Ferrari.
So everything looks good on the
into
power
turn
unit
1.
cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Turn 2 here to the right as we come over the crest and back down into a very high banked curve. Turn 3. Another crest here to the right is turn 4. Turn left into turn 5. Turn 6 here, again over the crest, and a little bit downhill into turn 7 to the right. And we are going to be using our ERS here as we are accelerating back out. Into turn 8 is a 5th or 6th gear turn. Turn 9 back down to 3rd gear. Very slow here as you want to place your car so you can accelerate as soon as you can, but only for a short burst into turn 10, which is here to the left. And that is going to open up a DRS zone. Down through turn 11, very slow chicane here. And turn 12 to the left. Again, placing your car right so that you can start off and accelerate as soon as you can. Turn 15. And by the time we get to 14, the banking is very high here, and you're going to be accelerating out. It is also a DRS zone. and you will want to use your ERS here to stay ahead of the car behind you. Down the main straight, pit entrance to the right, and we approach our grid spot and wait for the field to form.
Okay, that's not an ideal placement in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch at the race starts.
It's very possible that we were over by about an inch.
Forming up now. Be patient.
Lights out, and here we go. Not a bad start, but you can see there that Kamui got a couple of car lengths ahead. So a very good start for him. And there's the field coming through turn 1.
I think we've got our soft tires on a little bit shorter than everybody else.
Yeah, something in Formula 1 is that strategy is always key, and you can definitely beat a faster car with a smart pit strategy. So, still in lap 1, we are behind our teammate Kamui Kobayashi in the other driving immersion as we come around through turn 11, turn 12 here again to the left.
Very good jump for Kamui.
Turn 14, and the car is just struggling to stay down as it wants to push up and out.
So weaving back and forth. Trying to take the line.
Number 66 in the lead now as we come to cross the start-finish line and start lap 3. That is our teammate just behind us. And that is by 2.67 seconds. On board with George Russell. And we are watching the race between the two driving immersion teammates. Coming in through 6. And turn 7. So it looks like a very bad exit for the number 66. And Kamui takes back his first place.
A bit of a slide there.
Again, the secret to coming out of turn 12 is to be straight and accelerating as soon as you can.
Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Just keep pushing.
There we are, got around Kamui again with the GRS available for the number 66. A slight touch there in turn 3. And fortunate for
I think we might be
Kamui,
fighting them off for a whole race.
he's got his wings. score now of 72. The number 66 is not able to get away. And the Ferrari and the Mercedes are close by. So it's looking like Kamui not the only challenger, and it looks like a long day behind the wheel, but a lot of tough racing to come. Having a look at the standings, you can see that, again, all very close and within DRS limits here. So along the straight, oh, a big hit there by Kamui. And that is a big push on the number 66. The side pod of the car is now scratched up, and in the car it is showing some damage. And the damage is clearly visible on the side pod, but it does indicate as a floor tray damage.
Very wide.
Coming in through turn 14, we want to make sure that we have a lot of space between us, as he will have his DRS available to him. And with enough top speed, he should be able to get around, but not this time around. Coming in through turn 3 again, and let's see how he does. Again, very close here. And from behind the wheel, we are watching our proximity arrows, and that car is just too close coming into turn 3. So right now we will have to change our strategy and the way we drive through turn 3, just to keep Kamui back. And right now in the car we have a lot of damage to our floor tray. A little hit one more time and that may cause major damage, and definitely is going to impede our downforce. So we don't want that to happen. Turn 3 once again, and we are keeping close tabs on Kamui here. Turn 1, again, looking back, we now have Max Verstappen in the tow. So 2 Driving Immersion, a Mercedes, a Ferrari, and then a Red Bull. Kamui again, very close into turn 3. Russell, and again we are watching the race between the two Driving Immersion teammates. Just exiting 7. Here's 8. Turn 9, down to 3rd gear. And turn 12, a long sweeping left-hander that opens up onto a DRS zone. Turn 11 over the curb. Turn 12 here, late apex, accelerate out. So you can hear there as we come into the exit.
That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Of turn 14 that the car is kind of chattering. And there we saw it. Kamui just lost his front wing end plate on the right. Again, a very risky dive into turn 3, and this time he took the worst of it. So right now he is kind of starting to fade back a little bit, and he should be fading back as he will not have as much traction or grip in his front wheels. And hopefully this will give us a little bit of breathing room. He does still have the Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull right behind him. There we are, the number 66 chattering out of turn 14 once again. And it will be doing that throughout the whole race. Very possible that the car is set too low.
I think the Mercedes just got past our teammate. No? Kobayashi still in 2nd. Front left is getting warned.
And here we are watching Kamui struggling to stay ahead. Once again, he is missing his right side front wing end plate. And that will definitely affect his traction in the turns. George Russell just behind, and that is Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, and now we have a McLaren in tow. Further off in the distance we see a Ferrari and the other Mercedes. This is turn 11, turn 12. Again, still a lot of flashbacks from last year, as this race was in the rain.
Need to build this lead.
And this track is very complicated with all the elevation changes and the high camber curves and banks. area where the grandstands are also complicated because they're kind of blind turns. But now out in the open into turn 10. Again, another one of those late apex turns so that you can accelerate out as soon as you can.
Don't know why they are falling back, but again, we just need to build this lead.
.7 seconds now on second place, and our teammate Kamui is still holding off the Mercedes and the Ferrari, along with Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. And having a look at the timing here, it looks like all of those cars behind us up to 12th place are nose to tail, just 0.3 seconds away from each other. Here is Kamui as he exits out of turn 14. And he is going to continue on. You saw the number 66 just disappear there into turn 1 as these cars came into the straight. George Russell now giving it a good challenge to Kamui Kobayashi. They are side by side as we exit out of turn 1. And Kamui is going to keep his place.
So we have been stringing along very good consistent laps, and that's maybe why we got away from the crowd.
Starting lap 16 now of 72.
Gap to your teammate behind, 7.7 seconds.
At this point behind the wheel of the 66, we did see that Kamui did lose his end plate. However, we are wondering why the other cars are not able to get around him. But here at Zadnvoort, the best places to make a pass is down the main straight and into turn 1. Also coming into turn 11. As these turns and curves are very close together and strung together, so it's very hard to change the line and come around and pass someone, including here in turn 10. And that's perhaps why we see the other cars behind Kamui right now, but they do have to get around him on the straight. Now Kamui will have no problems on the straight. He does have a fast car, and a broken end plate is not going to slow your car down on the straight. So you can see all the cars now stacked up behind Kamui. I bet you they're all praying that he comes in to change their wing outs. But he's going to continue on.
I suppose they could have gone with 2 reds and 1 yellow, as the set of reds actually has been driving very well.
George Russell in the Mercedes, and Kamui Kobayashi in the second Driving Immersion with a broken end plate.
Very good run into the pit lane here.
Into the pits, and we are going to change out of this set of the soft
Okay,
tires.
mate, that's it. Go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting. All right, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
Again, 17 laps on the Reds was our strategy, and if we stretched them out a little bit longer, we would start losing time, according to the calculations. And that's why we changed out. They were actually still driving pretty well, but it did indicate that we would start losing time, and you cannot get away from that math. That's why we came in. Here's a camera view of Kamui's missing end plate as he comes around turn 10 and 11. And he will continue to lap. Back now with the number 66 as we exit turn 10. That is Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. Back in 14th and 15th place here for the 66 after the pit. There we are. We saw Kamui just peeling off into the pits. It would be in his lap window to change out of his tires as well. So he did hang on to his strategy the best he could, even though he was holding back the rest of the field. Now we didn't see a front wing change, and we got to see there as he came out of the pits.
These tires.
He still has the same wing. They did not fix that car. And we are going to see a flurry of cars coming into the pits now. That is Hogger exiting, Sargent exiting. So everybody on the red tires or soft tires on the first 10 should be coming in within the next lap. Maybe two if they wanted to stretch it. And if that's the case, it's very likely that everybody here will be on a two-stop strategy unless something happens. And when something like that happens, you just have to stick to your strategy after a full season so far. We found that sticking to the strategy at the beginning of the race is the safest strategy to complete a race. So yellow flag here as we come into turn 1. That is Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. He is stuck in turn 1. And right now he's backing onto the track. You can see him there in the background of the picture.
Which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
It looks like he may be able to get his car back on the road. Now we have a full course yellow with a safety car. There's Max. Back to rolling. But he's very well down the field now. And we are still under a full course yellow. We are waiting to catch up to the safety car. You can see the marshals there waving the yellow flag. And of course we're also getting indications in our steering wheel that we are under a full course yellow. This is turn 11 and turn 12 from the helicopter. Again, full grandstand of people here at Zadnvoort.
catch up to them. The pain in the ass.
Here is Sonoda and a whole bunch of cars in a traffic jam. In the pits, you can see the Mercedes were stacked up and the second one had to wait. A lot of standing time and killing time. There's the Haas.
He's back in the pits.
There's the McLaren Oscar Piastri.
Okay, we're coming up to the safety car now.
He could have
Do
been
not pass it.
part of an
You are the
accident.
leader. Follow the
Okay, so we are back at first. Lando Norris 7 seconds behind. Obviously, that's going to be erased.
Yes, so this safety car period does erase our lead.
And again, very possible that our teammate was
Okay,
involved.
so all of our tyre pressure data is currently...
And at one point we were about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of the group. And you can see now that Lando Norris in the McLaren is behind us in second place. Behind the safety car, obviously there's no passing. But this is how they're going to stack up once we go green. On lap 21, we are not racing our teammate. He is further back in the field at this
the
point.
safety car can go on another 5 laps. Possible we can put on a set of the reds on the third stint or second pit stop.
Okay, so the car behind...
So if we can stretch out this safety car period, we'll definitely save a lot of wear on this set of mediums. And we only need a few extra laps until we can actually stretch these out far enough that we only have to use,
only lap
that we can
22
use
of 72. This is ridiculous.
the soft red tires at the end.
It's going to be a long race.
And obviously that would make us faster. And we would put on an extra long stint on the yellows. Instead of 27 or 28 laps, we could probably do 32 or 35. And obviously that will get us into the window with the soft red tires, which are faster. So we are waiting to see here how much longer the safety car is going to go out. It's already been about 3 laps that we've been following him. And we probably just need a couple of more. So we got a call from the pit crew that the safety car is coming in this lap, and that is why we're
So right
letting
now
them go.
the car is actually speed limited. Again, this is the second time that we've experienced this in the season.
Yes, once the pit car is, or the safety car is called in, the cars are speed limited until the green flag drops. So here we go.
Clear. Gap
Back
to
to
your
green
teammate
flag.
behind, 9.0 seconds. Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
The HUD display on the lower right of your screen indicates our tire wear. It also indicates any damage that may be on the vehicle. And you can see there that the floor tray and side barge are just a little bit yellow and definitely not green,
These
so
tires
there
might
is
be a
damage.
little cool. A lot of understeer.
Coming in through 14 once again. This is our first lap since the full course yellow, so our tires are definitely cool, and we we are waiting for them to get back up to temperature as we are back to racing. This is
DRS
lap
has been
24
enabled.
now.
DRS is now enabled.
Coming in through turn 3, we are 0.8 seconds ahead of Lando Norris in the second place car, so that does give us a little bit of room. Turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. Turn 10 here as we accelerate out. You can see the cars behind us. They have their DRS open on the rear wing. And obviously when that happens, you want to make sure that you have a lot of DRS available to you. Again, as we come down the main straight, they will have their DRS open and they will have a speed advantage over the lead car, who does not have DRS.
Okay, Leclerc's just set the fastest lap of the race so far.
There is a big pass by Lando Norris on the 66 into turn 3, and we have been vulnerable through turn 3 for all of the race, and you can see there that the McLaren took advantage of that, and he is now streaking away. We are on board Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, watching the number 66 of Mars Medina. This is turn 9. Again, down
Very
to third
racy,
gear.
a new set of reds maybe.
So coming out of turn 10, we want to be within DRS, and there we are. The blue lights on the top of the steering wheel, the two most right ones, if they are blue, we have our DRS open. One light indicates that we are available for DRS, then we can actually open the rear wing, and two lights indicate that it is open. Down the main straight again, you see the two lights turn on, and we are able to get back around Lando Norris and the McLaren. So downhill is turn 7. Turn 8 here, and then turn 9 right away. Again, very slow. You can see the McLaren having a very good look, but we do have the wider line and the exit out of turn 9, and we are able to stay ahead into turn 10. Now he will have his DRS once again. You can see here that our ERS is set to overtake at that point. Here, as we come into turn 4, we have 80-something% of ERS energy available, and we're going to try to let that burn down. You can see now we're going down to the 50s, 40s, 45% left coming into turn 1, and that is exactly what it's for. Still a little bit wide on the exit of turn 3, but that time around Lando is pretty far back, that he didn't pose a challenge. Coming into turn 10 once again. A very busy racetrack here at Zadnvoort, made more complicated by the fact that the field is very close by, and we are racing into every corner and every straight. We had a couple of laps where we had a relaxed 8-second lead, but again that was cut down by full course yellow when Max Verstappen turned into the wall in turn 1 and kind of was stuck there and was not able to back out as the field was coming through, so a safety car was called, and that lasted about 4 laps. There is the number 66 from the helicopter. Again, the field is very close. And as we exit turn 14, we are going to need every bit of our ERS once again. We are going to the right side of the lane just so that we don't tow the vehicles behind us. And we need every little bit of help that we can get, as they will have their DRS wings open and have a speed advantage on the straight. There we are, turn 3, a very close look at the left as we exit out, and that is going to keep back the McLaren of Lando Norris for now. Again, very close, just 0.33 seconds. And you can see him there on the proximity arrows. The inside line once again for the number 66. It's been a very busy and challenging race. The field is very close. Here we are again coming through 13 and 14. Lando Norris showing he's got a very fast car.
So right now with their softs, they are not able to bank time as we are in the lead.
And this time around we saw there that the 66 was in the middle of the lane. Obviously the McLaren behind had a very good jump start out of 14 and would have made the pass if he had the space. Side by side with the McLaren just momentarily. He did have his DRS open coming into 11. Once again, Lando Norris in the McLaren is very fast. If he does get around, he may disappear into the sunset for the number 66. Exiting into the DRS zone of turn 10, we see our proximity arrows are full, and we've got a wide array of cars just behind us waiting to pass. And one wrong move here by the 66, and all of them will get passed. Is our remaining laps of fuel that we have in the vehicle. Again, if you look back at the very start, we had 8.01 or 8.1 laps of fuel in surplus to start the race. And right now we're down to just about half of that. One thing to note here on this very complicated racetrack, a very close race. This is actually our second time through here. The first time, by the time we had completed our second and last pit stop, we were already in a deficit of fuel, and I believe it was only by 0.25 laps, but at that point, going in, we came out in third place. Not be able to save fuel at all, and we would have definitely run out, so we had to restart the race. And that does happen here at Driving Immersion. I think Hungary is another race that we may have restarted. But if you look back at the race and watch it here on the channel, you will see that there was a surprise ending for the number 66. Obviously, not what was intended. But that race actually was driven twice here in the season, and you can look back on that. It is available on the channel and Driving Immersion here on YouTube.
Those stars should be fading pretty soon.
Again, all of the settings that we have here in Formula One are simulation settings, including damage, wear, and fuel use. So at this point in the race, we've been trying to figure out where Lando is faster than the 66. And he does have a set of the soft red tires on. And it may be appearing now as we come in once again to 13 and 14 that those tires are starting to wear, and he does not have the speed and grip that he did have
Very
just a
difficult
few
race.
laps ago. Lap 35 coming into start 36.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
And you can see there also on the HUD that our side pods or our under tray have incurred more damage as they are a brighter yellow. That will occur from going over the curbs, some of them high enough to damage the car. And it's very likely that we are at our limit here for damage on the under tray, so we have to be very careful about going over the curbs. Look at the timing, and you can see there that Lando Norris is just outside of the DRS that is available to him. So a little bit more breathing space coming into turn 1. Off and over the shoulder for the number 66. And that is going to give Lando a good jump start out of 14. And he is back within range. Certainly very close here coming out of turn 1. And as we look at turn 3, he did have a quick look at perhaps diving in. Once again, his soft red tires may be starting to decline at this point. Most cars came in on lap 18 and 19. And 17 to 18 laps is a good long time on this set of reds for this track at this time. Stretching them out to lap 20 or more is just going to be losing time on the track. So he may be coming in pretty soon. And we'll just have to wait and see. We are coming around again to
Oh my
the
god,
entrance.
only out 38.
So he is going to stay on. Yes, again, it is only lap 38, but Lando Norris here is probably on lap 19 or 20 on this set of reds. And I can guarantee you he's doing everything he can to keep that car together at the speeds with the wear on those tires.
Good. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158
by 22.7 seconds.
Laps now on this set of the mediums, and you can see there that we only have 13% wear on the front left, and that tire is going to get the most wear on this clockwise track, but 13% is very good for 20 laps. And you can see there that we've built a strong lead over the rest of the field now, and they are trying to stretch out their soft tires as much as they can. This would be lap 21 now if they did come in at lap 20. So 21 laps on a set of softs for the rest of the field. With Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. From his nose cam, that is Lando Norris and Mars Medina on the number 66 Driving Immersion in the lead. 1, 2, and 3 very close here in the field. And I believe during the practice session, the soft tires, which are the red striped tires here that you see on Charles Leclerc's Ferrari, they're about 1.3 seconds faster than the medium tires that are on the number 66 Driving Immersion. But just about now they should have lost their advantage, as the wear should be very high on those tires by now. Number 66 able to get away just a little bit from Lando Norris just ahead. That is 0.6 seconds now, over a half of a second, if only momentarily. On board with Charles Leclerc, we can see here that he's not challenging Lando Norris just ahead. He is probably in the same situation with tires right now, and they are doing everything they can to stay on board with the 66. And there's the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc coming into the pits. Lando Norris choosing to stay out with the number 66, just disappearing into turn 1. Here is the Ferrari, and he is getting a set of yellows. That should be his last stop for the race. Again, a two-stop strategy common to the other cars. But a very long stint on the soft tires for Charles Leclerc here. And we should expect that Lando Norris and the McLaren should be coming in anytime soon as well. Very quick look down the field, and you can see a lot of cars still on their reds, so a lot of pit stops going to occur again very soon. And if you remember the last round of pit stops, it looked like everybody was there. The Mercedes were stacked, as well as the Alpines. And they may happen again this time around. McLaren of Lando Norris coming in, and he will be glad to take off these sets of soft tires and put on a set of mediums.
That's not very good.
And that will be his last for the race. You can see there that Fernando Alonso has also come in, and he is going to change out of his reds, put on a set of yellows. Another Ferrari coming in, Carlos Sainz. And as we said before, it's going to be a flurry of pit stops now. We saw a Red Bull coming in as well as the Haas. There we are. And I think we saw our teammate Kamui come in as well. There he is. We saw a quick snap of the pit crew working on Kamui's car. There's the Haas. And that is Nico Hulkenberg. George Russell coming into the pits. Now exiting in 20th place. Back on board with the 66, it is our turn for a pit stop, and this is going to be lap 45. Pierre Gasly in as well. The 66 putting on another set of yellows. That is going to take us 27 laps onto the set of mediums. Kevin Magnussen also in the Haas coming in. And again, a flurry of pit stops in the pit lane.
Well, we do have our job made up for us. We got 8 in the pits.
A very quick look at the timing there on the upper left. You can see there that Charles Leclerc is up ahead by 5.2 seconds. Lando Norris by 2.1. And they were very fast before everybody came into the pits, even though they had the soft tires that were expiring. They were still able to stay with the number 66, but everyone is now on a level playing field. Their tires are only 1 lap, maybe 2 laps older than the 66 here. I think it's 2 laps for the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc and 1 lap for Lando Norris. More cars coming in. There's the Alpine. There's the Sauber. As we flash through the field. On board Zandvoort with Mars Medina. This is the 66 just behind Lando Norris here in the McLaren. And when he was on a set of red tires, he was showing us that he was very fast. Both cars here on fairly new set of mediums, and we'll see who's faster. We do have the tow and the DRS available to us. You can see him there going backwards in the rear view mirror as we come around into turn 1. So the number 66 back in second place here at Zandvoort. Still very wide on the exit of 3. And you can see here that right away we put on some space between us and the McLaren. Up ahead, Charles Leclerc, now only 2.6 seconds ahead. He was 5.2 seconds ahead when we came out of the pits. So lap 48 coming in to close off and start lap 49. You can see there that we have 2.37 laps of extra fuel. And again, we started the race with 8.1 gallons or 8.1 laps of extra fuel. So we're definitely burning a lot of fuel here, and now we are starting to watch our fuel. While driving through turn 3, 4, and 5 here, we are calculating our fuel for the remainder of the race. And we need to catch the Ferrari here very quickly and perhaps get by him because we need to start saving fuel. But not until we pass him. Coming through 6 and 7, it does help to have the target in sight. And we can see here little by little that we are making time on him. Very slow. Third to rear turn. Coming out of turn 10, we do not have DRS available to us just yet.
DRS?
11 and 12 is certainly very close now. There we are. We heard the audible beep for the ERS and the DRS. And down the straight, we do have an advantage over the Ferrari, but again, he is still pretty far ahead at that point. But closer now as we come in through 3 and 4. On board with Charles Leclerc, looking back at the 66 as we come in through 12, through 13, through 14, and we have our DRS available. Once again, activate the ERS. And Charles Leclerc still very fast through the straight. Closer and closer into turn 9. We do have an advantage over him through there. Coming into DRS. There's just not enough room on this straight to get by until the very end. And there we are, a little bit of a bump coming in between 11 and 12, but we are able to get around. Down the main straight once again. We move to the right of the lane so that we don't pull him from behind us. And now we have to start watching our fuel. So we got to see there that coming in between 9 and turn 10, we stayed on a line that closed off any possibility for Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari here to think about passing. .5 seconds ahead of the Ferrari. He does have his DRS available to him, and a very long look here. You can see that his rear wing is open. Coming down the main straight, the Ferrari is very fast. On board with Lando Norris, that is the Ferrari challenging the 66. Again, a very good drive into turn 3 there for the 66, closing off the inside.
lot of short shifting.
55 of 72 laps, and we are down to 1.6 extra laps of fuel. And you can see now that we're not able to get away from the Ferrari and the McLaren. We are now having to short shift. Again, that was a plan that we knew was going to happen after we passed the Ferrari. So after 56 laps complete, the race is still very close, and we have not had a corner where we have not had somebody breathing down our back. So a very challenging race here for the number 66. Wheel to wheel again with the Ferrari, and this time Charles Leclerc is going to get by, and that is out of turn 2. 66 just behind now, coming out of turn 3. And this race has changed dramatically. We had been trying to save fuel. We are down to 1.51 extra laps. And we have about 15 laps left to go. So if you've been watching the race from the beginning, we have been going through 8 extra laps of fuel throughout the race so far. And right now it is looking very close to the end of the race. If we are going to be able to make it to the end. Again, this is our second time running this race. And the first time we only had 4.5 extra laps of fuel, and we ran out very close to the second pit stop. So definitely we don't want to have to restart this race once again if we are just a little bit short on fuel. But obviously if you do run out of fuel, you are dead on the track, and there's no way to get back in gear and go around. The car will just stop. So not very entertaining, and then we would have to restart. But coming in through 7 and 8 again, this is the Ferrari ahead of the 66. Now it's been a very long race, it's been a very challenging race, and it's very difficult and tiring at this point. It's very possible that the 66 may just end up coming in second, or even third, but it's still a very good podium finish. And with 14 laps to go, 13 once we cross the start-finish line here, we're going to have to make a decision if we're going to try
strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance.
If we're going to try to get back in the lead.
39.0 seconds.
39 seconds. So it's very possible that Kamui did not change that wing at all, and he just kept on going around. So he basically lost 30 seconds throughout the race on a broken wing instead of replacing it and only spending about 7 or 11 seconds. So a very poor choice. You should always change your broken wing. If you're ever doing a full race here in Formula 1, that is priority. Even if you're just missing the end plate and very little damage is indicated, you should change your wing. So yes, back around the Ferrari, down the main straight. And it was just a matter of being in the DRS zone at the right time when we came across and exited turn 14. So back in the lead, and now we can stay in front. We will have to slow down again to save fuel, but as long as we stay ahead of the Ferrari here, we can control the race and save fuel. But if he gets by once again, that will be it. There's just not enough fuel here to challenge him once again.
Still trying to conserve fuel.
Laps complete. We have 1.15 extra laps of fuel. And again on the HUD on the lower right, and we keep that up now so that we can continue to monitor it. We have been damaging our under tray on the vehicle. First a big hit from Kamui very early in the race, and throughout the race we have been going over the curbs, which is unavoidable. You just have to do it. But I think that the damage was primarily caused by the collision with Kamui. And it turned out that a couple of laps later he tried to move again and damaged his front wing for the rest of the race, and that is why he is languishing in the back of the pack, more than 40 seconds behind now. Again, tires are in good shape. They're just right where they should be. We will experience more wear on the front left as this is a clockwise track. Very common occurrence. We did try to add a little extra air, but that didn't add any longevity and did not affect grip, so we reduced it back to an even left and right tire pressures. Again, all of these things are very critical here in the simulation of the F1 race.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 43.7 seconds.
Yeah, very far back now for Kamui. He should have at least changed the wing.
Out of fuel.
0.92 extra laps of fuel. It's very likely that we can take that down to 0, but not below 0, and that will not allow us to finish the race. Again, the 66 in the lead here of the Ferrari and Lando Norris in the McLaren. 64 of 72 laps. We are just controlling the race from the front and trying to save fuel. Very difficult thing to do. The Ferrari and the McLaren here obviously are very close and they can pass at any time. And if that occurs, certainly there's no way to get back at them and we will run out of fuel if we just don't let them go. So every corner and every turn here is now strategic. We are closing off the corners and saving our ERS down the straight. And there, as we exited 12, you can see that we gained a little space to the Ferrari. Again, activating our ERS here to stay ahead. You can see the Ferrari does have his DRS open and he will have a speed advantage, but we are on the inside here of turn 1 and he will not be able to get around. So now controlling the race behind from the front is the number 66. Again, this is an occurrence that you will likely find if you're ever doing a full-length race here in any of the F1 races. Here we are coming in through turn 10, closing off the exit for the McLaren and the Ferrari. You can see the rear wings open.
Max Verstappen is out of the race.
Exiting out of turn 3, we've just been notified that Max Verstappen is out of the race and retired.
Don't have to save fuel anymore.
Again, very close out of turn 10. Coming in through turn 11 and turn 12. We can't get away at this point. We don't have enough fuel to finish. If we try, that's 13. And the back turn 14 down the main straight. So 0.63 extra laps of fuel, and right now we have 5 laps to go. We have been burning off about 0.11 to 0.13 laps of fuel per lap, and this is going to leave us with about 3/10, maybe 2/10 of extra fuel, which is more than enough to finish the race as long as we finish above 0. So right about now, I think we're just going to go for it and and obviously stay in the lead and keep the other cars behind. So a little hit there from the Ferrari. Again, into turn 3 we are slower as we are trying to maintain our fuel. Coming in through turn 3, we have a little bit of breathing space between the 66 and the Ferrari. Off into the grass as we are trying to maintain our speed as much as possible without expending any fuel. And we are here watching Charles Leclerc as they exit out of turn 12. Both McLarens very close. And we're trying to see if the Ferrari is having any difficulties riding with the 66. The tires are still in good shape.
Gap to your teammate behind, 45.8 seconds.
Driving on to lap 71 now. As we exit turn 3, there are no proximity arrows appearing on our HUD, so we are more than 1 second. It's showing now on timing that we are 2 seconds ahead of the Ferrari, so at this point we are kind of leaving them behind. It's very likely that the Ferrari is holding back the McLaren now at this point. Chattering through the exit of turn 14. Once again, we cross the start-finish line. This should be the final lap. No, not yet. We still have to complete lap 72. So when we come around, we will start 72. This is the penultimate lap. 2.3 seconds now ahead of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. The two McLarens still behind him. Coming through 8. Turn 9. On board with Oscar Piastri. Has been very quiet for the last couple of races, but early in the season, a very successful run for him. There is the 66 just disappearing in the distance. Again, coming around turn 14. Lando a very good run here on the Ferrari, and he's going to be able to just squeeze ahead of Charles Leclerc. Coming out of turn 2, Lando Norris now in P2. Turn 11 and turn 12 for the last time. Proximity arrows are there. Turn 14. We've now got a very good run on the McLaren. And he gets a very good tow. That looks like a very close finish as we cross the start-finish line.
Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic. Amazing, you deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
I think that
So-
was a photo finish.
Right away, we're told that we did win.
Lance
However,
Stroll's the
still very
driver.
close.
Hey, come on.
And
Not
just at the
victory
line,
today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row for them now. That's really going to help them gain confidence and start to build that momentum that they're really going to be looking for.
so there we are, a victory for the number 66 Driving Immersion.
Here
Mars
comes your
Medina
top
gonna be
three
on the
making
top
their way
step
down to
of the podium.
for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Again, a very difficult race. Very close competition. So as we conclude the race here at the Dutch Grand Prix, we thank you for watching this race at Driving Immersion. And remember, for more exciting racing ahead, give us a like and click on subscribe or follow so that you don't miss out on the next race event. We'll see you next time.